Welcome, everyone, on Friday night, Music City Madness, Nashville, Tennessee. 3 months from now, it will host the SEC basketball tournament. Big Blue Nation, some early season anxiety for the fans of the Kentucky Wildcats. And a challenging schedule gets no easier tonight with Gonzaga. For the Zags, conference play is on the horizon. A big final exam type test in front of what is a very blue Bridgestone Arena. Friday night, Bridgestone Arena, the Kentucky Wildcats, and all these people are very used to this. Jimmy Dykes, I'm Carl Ravitch. Both of these teams kind of trying to find themselves. A 40-point loss their last game for Gonzaga 9 days ago. And Kentucky, I mentioned the anxiety. What an opportunity both teams have tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. Because of that, I think both teams arrive in a bad mood, man, a little bit angry. Especially Gonzaga. They've had 9 days to stew over that beatdown by Michigan. Both clubs still ranked in the top 25. And for Kentucky, they've got 5 wins. They're all against quad 4 teams.
Right.
They are desperate right now for a big-time win and a major opportunity here in Nashville, which is now Rupp South. What they're dealing with tonight, if you're Mark Pope, is the inside game of Gonzaga. This cat, Graham Ike, is an All-American. He arrives at the rim in a bad mood with a severe purpose. This is a guy that can stretch you a little bit, but he does damage around the rim. We'll test that Kentucky front line. What does Kentucky have at the point guard tonight? Well, we expect Jalen Lowe to play, but until then, it's a lot on Denzel Aberdeen as PG1 since Lowe has been out. Former national champion of Florida. He's used to the big stage and the big lights. Those two guys are going to have to be good for both of the ball clubs. Ike is an absolute load when you consider North Carolina punked Kentucky in their last ball game. Do they have the resistance and the strength to stand up against a guy like Ike? We're going to find out. And Denzel Aberdeen, a lot on his shoulders. I think Kentucky's guards have to be great on the defensive end and disrupt this very efficient Gonzaga half-court offense.
Gonzaga 7-1 on the season. Kentucky 5-3. Each team scores just about 90 points a game. Kentucky shot 13 threes in their last game, made 1. They got to do better than that tonight. Just about set to jump center. And Ike sends it back to his point guard. We are underway here tonight. They go low. Huff is phenomenal at that. And he is off to a good start. That's Brayton Huff, the lefty. Take a look at Kentucky's starting 5. Oweh, Aberdeen, Cam Williams. They expect even more development with his shot. Colin Chandler's been their all-around best player. And, of course, Moreno's got a lot on his shoulders tonight with the ball. First 3 of the night goes up from Cam Williams. That's short. And a good rebound and a run out here.
Well, the Zags, they pound that ball inside. They are making 35 two-point shots per game, one of the highest in the country.
Steele Ventures gets the ball inside. Sansupari fires a 3. That's no good.
Yeah, good job of gang rebounding by an undersized Kentucky in this game.
Mark Few told us earlier today they are worried about Kentucky's speed getting out on a break. They'll start again with about 10 on the shot clock, and then they will throw it away. A little discombobulated to start as we take a look at Gonzaga's starting lineup.
Well, you see their starting 5. They are big and physical by Gonzaga standards and athletic as well. And the first couple of possessions you've seen Gonzaga, what did Mark Few talk about today at noon? Defend the elbows and defend the box, man. Make Kentucky prove they can beat us shooting jump shots.
Chente down low. Huff. That's a gimme that he missed. Just where you want him to have the ball, down low like that.
We'll see a lot of 5 out by Kentucky offensively. Still, they run their zoom action.
Where will the points for Kentucky come from? Oweh got a screen from Chandler, and they're going to start again with 7 and another turnover.
Ravi, the ball did move side to side, but man, did it move at a turtle's pace. And Kentucky's got to get that thing. They got to get a hot basketball in the offensive end. They got to find gaps. They got to punch the paint and get that Gonzaga defense in some type of a defensive rotation.
A couple of very empty trips for the Wildcats to start this thing. Huff took a redshirt year. He learned under Timmy, and that's where you see a lot of Timmy in Huff.
That speaks to that Gonzaga development, right? They bring guys in, redshirt them, and
EK pulls up as the shot clock wound down. Good defense for the Cats that time.
that is a win for Kentucky. You want Graham EK taking 15, 16-footers all night long if you're Mark Pope.
He told us today, look, it's not time to panic. We don't even have our team together. We're still missing 3 big parts, but the jitters are there. He knows there's anxiety in a big way in Big Blue Nation.
Yeah, you look at their remaining schedule, what Indiana and St. John's in non-conference are big opportunities. Not as big as they have tonight against a Gonzaga team. I know they lost by 40 last week. I still think Gonzaga is potentially Final Four good.
EK all the way to the rack. He cannot get it to go.
What, 2 already by EK and Huff that they just normally are automatic.
It felt like a flush finish, and he tried to finger roll it in. Williams will launch again. That's too strong. And Gonzaga controls the board.
Again, Gonzaga, though, very heavy in that gap defense, making Kentucky shoot jumpers.
EK to the right. Another one comes up short. He gets it back. And that's going to be a foul, it looks like, on Moreno. So how about Mark Few coming up on near 3 decades as the head coach? He's been with the program even longer than that.
Well, the staying power of guys like Mark Few is getting fewer and fewer, but this is a ball club, Ravi. They come in one of 8 teams in the country. I know it's early. They're in the top 20, both offensive and defensive efficiencies, according to KenPom. They are a complete team. But it all starts with this big cat, Graham EK, and Braden Huff on the inside. They just jackhammer the ball to set the rules of the game early.
EK is a 78% free throw shooter. You take a look at Mark Few. He's got a very deep, more athletic lineup than he's played. They go about 9 deep with at least 15 minutes per guy. As EK gets the first 2 to go, Kentucky looking for its first points.
Watch the guys in blue setting in those gaps. Just keeping that ball out of the paint.
Oh, they try to go downhill. That's a turnover, but a kick there from Sansupri.
Be very difficult if Kentucky can't get that ball reversed quickly and get Gonzaga in some type of a rotation, find some type of an angle to attack those gaps and make good things happen. So far, the Kentucky offense is all on the perimeter.
The alpha for Kentucky, Jimmy, they've had, what, 7 different leading scorers in their games. There hasn't been one yet guy to establish himself. Where on the other side, EK can stand out. Williams, good pass down low, but nowhere to go with it. 5 on the shot clock. Moreno, difficult baseline air ball. Nothing going right now for Kentucky. Sansupri launches a high one that buries itself, and it's 7-0 in favor of Gonzaga.
He is going to be terrific. He arrived in September after competing for the Spanish national team. The next great Gonzaga point guard.
Chandler had one rattle out. Again, Sansupri, that one a little too strong. Chandler, they got a 3-on-1 if they go. Oweh, contact, he will shoot 2.
And that's what Kentucky has to do in this game. Score off of their defense, whether it's off the defensive glass or after a turnover. The Kentucky speed has to start having some kind of impact in Bridgestone.
Welcome back to Bridgestone. Yeah, Jimmy mentioned it. Their wins have come against sort of the no-names, and their losses against blue blood programs, but they've been bad and they've lost in a variety of ways.
Yeah, they've been leaking water in different places throughout the season so far, and have been out-rebounded the last couple of games, especially the power wins against Michigan State and North Carolina. They are now, considering tonight, 1 out of their last 17 from the three-point line, which is what they did against North Carolina. That front line in North Carolina, Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar went for 32 points and 22 rebounds. That has to be a major, major concern for Mark Pope when you're taking on EK and Huff, who's right there with the best of anyone in college ball in the front line.
Jimmy, significant now. After the whistle, we got 3 changes. The most significant, 15 there in white for Kentucky. Jaden Lowe, who's played 2 games. He's dealing with a shoulder injury that he hurt in the blue-white scrimmage. There's some Lamont Butler type vibes here. They're very concerned that he bangs it and it pops out again, but he's on the floor, and he is their point guard. Also into the game, Andrea Jelovich and Brandon Garrison for Kentucky.
First time Kentucky has a chance to extend their pressure, trying to speed this game up.
EK working on Garrison. Chandler came to help out. They got him on the floor. Did he get a timeout called?
I think EK called a timeout when he fell on that ball. But you see, man, Kentucky's not going to mess around with it and let this guy go one-on-one. That monster double came quickly on EK. Kentucky has to be disruptive in this ball game, Ravi. You can't let EK go one-on-one no matter who it is. And Colin Chandler scrapes down and gets involved on that ball side, forces EK to cause a timeout. It's Kentucky's defense right now that's got to get hot in this game.
Chandler was playing referee. He thought there was a travel. So did most of the people in Bridgestone Arena.
That's too easy.
Yeah, it is. EK's down low, and they got it to him. It's a 9-1 start for Gonzaga.
How in the world did Colin Chandler get matched up on EK after just one pass?
Lowe's a Pittsburgh transfer, and he is the one that will make this motor run. They expect limited minutes from him tonight.
He can get separation, talking about 15 in white, and Kentucky needs separation in this game with a ball handler.
Jelovich is a good shooter. He kept his head down. That leads to another Kentucky turnover. Venters, good shooter for three, too strong. Chandler rips it away.
Another opportunity to score in transition.
Here's Lowe with the push and a drive. Lays it up. He gets fouled. He falls. It looks like his shoulder's okay. And that's a little different look for Kentucky with Lowe in the game.
Yeah, you see the speed of Jalen Lowe, who Kentucky does have speed. Guys that can get out and go, but can they rip that thing either out of the nets or off the glass? Jalen Lowe, the one thing he can do, he can get downhill and he can put fouls on you defensively. He's a slippery guy, Ravi, not really strong, but he's quick and elusive.
Well, it's just a very good sign as they try to get back to full strength. No Dioubate, no Quaintance, and that one was way off. They also now make a substitution. Chandler coming out, and the speedy Jasper Johnson comes into the game. Johnson, of course, right out of Lexington, Kentucky. He left Kentucky for Link Academy and then the overtime elite program in Atlanta. Calipari wanted him, so did Mark Pope. Pope got him. And that famous Kentucky Till I Die shirt that he's been seen wearing around as he plays for his hometown team.
As a high school quarterback, and a good one, right?
Very good.
Woodford County High School. The press will probably come again. Kentucky, they cannot hold up in a physical half-court game.
It's a much faster team with Johnson,
no doubt,
and Lowe out there to go with Oweh.
By doing that, you've also shortened the half-court clock that the Zags have to work with.
Braden Smith, backup point guard, has been very good for Gonzaga to start this season. And Venters launches a high one, and that finds the bottom.
Boy, good shooters know how to get open, don't they? Because Venters wasted no time getting the separation for where the ball was. Just 2 or 3 slides, and the pass delivered right in the shot pocket.
Venters, like many of these Gonzaga Bulldogs, has dealt with all sorts of injury issues. As an air ball is put up, he tore his ACL the next offseason. He's getting better, and he blows out his Achilles. He's now, for the first time, healthy. AK deep. Garrison wrapped him up. Gonzaga's getting what they want.
They are. Watch Steele Venters, number 2 in blue here at the bottom of your screen. He gets away from the ball right there. That extra 2 or 3 slides to his left was too much for Johnson to recover to. Gonzaga is known for guys that are skilled, and they fall in love with the game and development. And Steele Venters is one of those guys that just, in that program, continues to get better and better. If you don't love ball, you don't play for a guy like Mark Few. That's a highly competitive group year after year after year.
Adam Miller into the game now as well. Venters gets a break. Tyne Grant Foster also into the game. He's got his own story. That's a chance for a 3-point play. A much smaller defender. And Huff buries it.
Mark Few has set the rules, how the game's going to be played. We're going to hammer this ball inside no matter what it takes. I can go with 2 bigs, and you cannot match up with me. And that's just too deep of a catch against an undersized defender. Jasper Johnson has no chance. How good is Mark Few? And the consistency that he has year after year after year. We talked about the staying power that he's had. Greg Campy at Oakland, I think, in his 42nd year.
Yeah.
In terms of coaches at their current schools, the longest. And Mark Few is on that list. Izzo, Mark Few, James Jones at Yale, and Randy Bennett. Those 5 guys have figured it out. How to adjust, how to stay relevant. Big time.
Garrison, difficult pass at the knees. Yelovich may have been looking for an alley-oop.
The first time we've heard boos in this arena from this Kentucky crowd.
4 early turnovers. Good hands that time by Johnson. But Jimmy, a nightmarish start. 15-2 in favor of the Zags.
Ravi, when you can't shoot, the game gets hard. That's a simple statement, but Kentucky comes in only making 8 3-point shots a game at 33%. Far from, well, they're taking 26 threes a game right now.
Yeah.
Far from the 35 or 40 that Mark Pope was doing out at BYU.
And the number goes down, shooting 13 in a game like they did in their last one. Trent Noah into the game. They're going to get that foul on Garrison out top. Second foul on Garrison. Looks like he's going to be subbed out for.
It's hard to put an early season grade on Kentucky. I would give them an incomplete. I got several of those when I was in high school. You got to finish your work. Until they get healthy, you can't put a grade on it. But right now, that shooting deficiency is a glaring issue for Kentucky.
Ike thinking about a one-on-one play. Here he goes to spin. Throws it up and in. Difficult shot. But Graham Ike and Braden Huff are doing damage inside.
For big guys, they are so good at those floaters, those 10 or 12 footers that are tough.
Crowd wanted Noah to launch one. He didn't.
Rav, it is 17-2.
Yelovich, he can stroke it. That's no good. Offensive rebound in the hands of Lowe. Good kick. Johnson, no good. Noah battles for it, out of bounds, off of him.
That's a really big Gonzaga team. What looks like an open three is not really an open three because of their length. And Ike in the middle of the floor, the shot fake and the spin and the finesse finish for a guy that is an absolute load. Graham Ike is all of 6'10" and 250. Like I said, he arrives at the gym in a bad mood. A preseason All-American on everybody's list and the front runner for that WCC Player of the Year once again.
Kentucky is 0 for 8 from the floor. They have taken 6 3-pointers. Aberdeen back into the game on defense, and another one in the paint. They are destroying Kentucky in the paint.
Way too easy. And that's just a simple not guarding your yard, opening up your hips, allowing a guy to get to the paint.
Their guards are athletic. They close very quickly. Lowe, the alley-oop down low. Moreno. Is this their first field goal? No, it's not.
Wow. More questions than answers right now for Kentucky.
Yeah, and the crowd is starting to get on them. Meantime, an amazing story during V-Week, which we'll bring to you when we come back. That boy right there, Jaden Bailey, he plays with just one arm. We'll tell you his story and his incredible... Welcome back, folks. Jimmy and I want to share the story of a young man we got a chance to meet earlier today, Jaden Bailey, who's a local high school basketball player. He had his left arm amputated in August because of cancer. A few months later, they found the cancer had spread to his stomach. He is dealing with terminal cancer. He got to know Kentucky through Oweh, and he got a chance to meet the guys today, Jimmy.
Well, the courage and the joy that this young man lives with right now is uncommon and infectious. And I fell in love with Jaden Bailey. I know you did as well. And he's literally been told he has weeks to live.
Yeah.
But he continues to fight. He's actually playing, Ravi, in a basketball game right now. And talking to his coach, he said, I don't play him just because. I play him because he helps us. And, man, I'm a big fan of Jaden Bailey. And especially during the story during V-Week. But what a beautiful young man Jaden Bailey is.
Well, his smile, and you said it, if attitude is everything, he's got all the attitude. We please implore those that can, when you see stories like Jaden's, to donate whatever you're able to do at v.org/donate, where 100% of your donation goes to cancer research. The Kentucky folks were amazing with him, but it was nothing compared to his attitude and his smile. And as he said, if I don't smile, it affects everybody else. What a young man. His birthday is next week. And you're playing a basketball game on the night that he's supposed to be playing. And man, all prayers go out to Jaden Bailey and his family. We learned valuable lessons from watching him today. Hey, Kentucky's knocked down a three, and that sends this place into a loud ovation. Aberdeen buried their first. The other way, it's going to be called off Huff. Maybe that's all it takes, Jimmy. You get the seal off of the hoop there. One goes through, and maybe they'll see a bunch of others now.
Well, you got Aberdeen in one corner and Colin Chandler in the other, who's shooting 45%. As bad as it's been for Kentucky, man, just one basket ignited this building. Can you get inside that Gonzaga defense and start spraying that thing around for a three? There it is.
Yeah, it is. Lowe. No good.
He's a career below 30% three-point shooter is Jalen Lowe.
3-on-2. Smith pulls up. He is able to get the soft one to roll in.
He is really under control, Braden Smith. You want to have Ravian College ball. Kentucky started the year with one point guard. Jalen Lowe. And look at this start tonight. Not having multiple point guards, I think, has something to do with how poorly Kentucky has shot the ball this year. You want 2.5 point guards minimum, and Kentucky has one on their roster who hasn't been healthy much at all in Lowe.
Lowe comes out of the game. Oweh back in. 21-5. And again, Kentucky 1 for 12. They are 1 for 9 from 3. So they're launching a bunch of them, but they're not getting to go in.
I was there last year. Kentucky was down 18 at the half in Seattle and came back and won. So hold on.
Aberdeen with 3. No good. Moreno had it, and he lost it. Good hands that time, and you mentioned the men on this team. Miller just went after that ball and took it away. Here he is now, the lefty, 3-ball. No good. Williams getting physical. Instead of turning to box him out, kind of pushed him out. All right, Jimmy, a reminder, we got a great pair of games Sunday. That's Sunday ESPN2. It's always a great one. Missouri and Kansas at 1 o'clock. That game's in Kansas City. Georgetown will take on Hubert Davis's Carolina team at 5. Kansas just had a terrific game the other night without their best player and a Connecticut victory. It looks like he should be able to play in that one. Kansas, Missouri, 1 Eastern time, ESPN2 to kick it off.
Yeah, always a great battle between those two teams. I think Darren Peterson, Bill saying, is supposed to play on Sunday. But how good have they been without him? One of the more impressive teams in November when you consider the loss of that kid.
Smith left alone. No good. Huff going to be called for the foul. He went over the top of Cam Williams.
Well, if Kentucky's going to get back in this game, they're going to have to start fighting. And it's not going to be pretty. They're not going to shoot their way back into this game. They're going to have to get the 50-50 balls, get some body blow plays, get out in transition. It's just where they are right now.
Mark Pope has said we got a lot of guys this year that can do things our team didn't do last year. They can get downhill. Last year they had those spot-up shooters, you know, Jackson, Brea, and another turnover just ripped away from Williams. Loose ball, 50-50, goes the way of Gonzaga. They're going to get Williams for grabbing onto. You can see the size difference between those two guys.
Ravi, it's such a pressure release when you have basically on the road and you got Graham Ike and Braden Huff. You can just throw the ball to inside. They can just sit on your legs and spread out like a buffet, and you just throw the ball to them, and the pressure's off your offense. And boy, Kentucky, they're just going to have to fight with all they can to push those guys out an extra step or two, come quick with double teams. They've got to score off of their defense in this game.
Williams takes the seat. Elovich is in. He gets Huff. They try to double him from behind, and Huff senses it. And now Ike. Man, he missed an easy one.
Ravi, I'm telling you, I've watched every Gonzaga game this year. They don't miss shots around the rim like they have in this one.
Aberdeen looks for a lane. No good. Has his own rebound. And he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Finally, the Kentucky speed/quickness comes into play. Aberdeen grabbed the paint in transition. Got the first shot up. Didn't go, but the first guy off the floor after the miss. Grab a piece of the paint. Boom, right there. For the first time, Kentucky in this game in their transition push. Gets that ball, puts pressure on the rim, and good things happen. Ike in that drop coverage doesn't want to foul, and Aberdeen, boom, right there. First guy off the floor after the first shot miss.
Aberdeen, of course, did win that championship with the Gators and played behind three amazing guards on that national championship team.
Really didn't want to leave, but read the article like I did. His dad said in negotiations with Florida, the negotiations went south, and here he is as a Wildcat.
Yeah, a term you never heard before in college basketball. The negotiations went south. Aberdeen tests again, throws it up. That thing was denied. What a block by Grant Foster. Left hand no good, tipped up and in by Ike.
I've talked about Kentucky speed. Gonzaga can go right with you, man. They are really fast for as big and as physical as they are.
An amazing defensive play. Tie on Grant Foster. Garrison left wide open. Sure, he'll take it.
Maybe he needs to take more. He was the only guy to make one against North Carolina. That's your backup center.
Second three. He's 1 of 13, and it was Brandon Garrison who made it. Yeah, a soft foul right in front of the Kentucky bench, and you can hear the reaction here at Bridgestone. Feels like a home game for the Cats.
Well, Kentucky's got to find shooters from somewhere, and you back off of Garrison. He's always had a really good release coming off of that wrist. A little bit of hope right now for Kentucky in this building.
Score here, 23-11. A little signs of hope for Pope here. Last year they were down 18. Jimmy, you were right there to see this.
Well, I was, and they came out in the second half and took control of the ball. They started making shots. You see Kobe Brea rise up and fire, but that game was huge for Mark Pope and Kentucky in terms of their belief in their system, how they play. It's interesting that Kentucky only taking 26 three-point shots a game, but I think they just don't have the shooting right now. But 1-11 under Mark Pope and trailing by 12-plus points. So one of the great characteristics in life, Ravi, I think, for anyone is just the ability to just figure it out. And Mark Pope right now, he's trying to figure it out on the fly. Now, he lives in a house with 5 girls, so he's had to figure out a lot of things in life. But he's told us today, I'm trying to figure out how do I get my guys going. Offensively, we've been stagnant. The ball's not moving. I know we're not healthy, but the schedule doesn't care. It is what it is. And Kentucky trying to fight and scratch their way back into this game.
Ike has got 9. You see Jalen Lowe, who has played some minutes tonight, looks a little rusty, but again, the offense was moving a little more fluid when he was on the floor.
He's the one guy that I see for Kentucky that can color outside the lines, you know, break off and just kind of go make something happen. The healthier he gets, it certainly helps Big Blue Nation.
You mean you're supposed to color inside the lines?
No.
I never learned that. Aberdeen missed it. Moreno can't get it. And another 50-50 ball won by the Zags.
Well, they push.
The Huff pick up another offensive rebound, and Smith will slow it down. The offensive rebounds hurt Kentucky this year. They're doing it again today. And so far, the loose balls are going to the team in the dark blue. Ike into double figures.
He is way more than just a power dude around the rim. That shot that he took, that little finesse 10-footer, so difficult.
Can Oweh get it going downhill? Yelovich wide open. Can't get it to go.
Not until Kentucky starts making shots. The gap defense is too heavy for Gonzaga to get downhill.
Huff wide open right in the middle. Great look there. And boy, the points in the paint, Jimmy, just tell part of the story, but it's 14-2 right now.
They are just pounding away, are they not, at that Drake's gift cards logo, talking about Gonzaga on this floor. Oh!
Blocked once on Moreno. They settle for a three that missed, and the loose hands there. And that was a bad pass. Smith with a pickoff. Crowd booing lustily now. Chandler there. Look at EK.
It is grown men right now against not grown men in Bridgestone Arena. I told Mark Few about 3 weeks ago, Coach, I've watched your team. I think they play as hard as anybody in college ball. They have done it so far in this one. And so far, Ravi, it's been EK over UK. He's got more points than Kentucky does as a team, and he's done it multiple ways, primarily 12 feet and in. I mean, he establishes that low post block, and he can go either shoulder on you. And he's a load, but he's also got a lot of strength plus finesse, which is a rare combination for a big in college ball. And they are just hammering Kentucky on the inside. Kentucky could not hold up against that North Carolina front line, and they are not holding up tonight.
Got to wonder if Kentucky comes on the floor and they see EK getting a little break here. And to try to take advantage, EK had 1 point. We talk about that Michigan loss and how you bounce back. He had 1 point in that game.
Yeah, but the depth of Gonzaga, Braden Hush still on the floor. He's Gonzaga's leading scorer, also 6'11".
Kentucky shooting has been abysmal. 3 for 21. That's 14%. And again, like a junior high schooler in his locker trying to figure out what the combination is to the lock. But Mark Pope is trying to figure out what combination is going to work out there.
He is. It's a interesting time for them right now. They have spent a lot of time talking about cut assists.
Yep.
Kentucky in their half-court offense. Guys cutting hard, making two defenders respond to the cut and getting guys open. They're not cutting hard right now, and they simply can't go by their individual defender when they're one-on-one battle and get the Zags in a rotation.
So the shooters are on the floor now. You got Noah out there and Chandler, Yelovich as well. They will get it to Chandler. He sends one of the rafters and finds the bottom.
Sure did. Had to shoot it over that length I talked about of Gonzaga.
The answer three, not there as it goes off the front of the rim. Oweh baseline, now double teamed. Someone's open, Yelovich. Can't find it, his struggles continue, he's 0 for 4.
Yeah, the ones you gotta make, right? All the international experience he's had, but he's never been a high percentage three-point guy.
Huff thinking about a move, one-on-one to his shoulder, won't go, so they'll go three, and that's gonna bind the bottom from Smith.
Yeah, they put you in a bind, do they not? You get it, a shooter on the same side with one of those low post loads, and you gotta make a decision.
EK 13, Huff 7, Smith 5. Noah. Oweh sees a little lane, left hand, no good, but he will get fouled, a late whistle. 2 free throws are coming up. Jimmy Dykes, the Jimmy V Classic, the Women's Jimmy V Classic, Wednesday night, 7 Eastern time on ESPN. It's Iowa and Iowa State, 2 teams ranked in the top 12 in the nation. The Women's Jimmy V Classic, Wednesday night, 7 Eastern time.
Iowa State gets that ball inside. Watch them play enough this year. I love where the women's game's at right now. It's more than just a UConn or a Tennessee like there was 10 years ago. Multiple teams have loaded up. It'll be a great watch again in March.
Matt Campbell looks like he may be heading to Happy Valley, right?
Yeah.
Be the next coach at Penn State.
That would be, I think, a heck of a hire for a program, Penn State, that cares about football as much as Kentucky does about basketball. And that's as much as you can care.
Spent many a day working in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, riding up Route 322 to Happy Valley. You get there on a Wednesday, there'd be a big crowd for a game on Saturday.
Kentucky can they get it just close to a 10-point game at halftime would be a huge win for them right now.
They're going to get Worley for the illegal screen. It's been all Gonzaga early. They've done it inside. They've done it outside. They've been dominant on defense. It's 33-16 at Music City Madness here in Nashville.
Seth, you're right. And interesting, it's one of Mark Pope's better defensive squads. They came in 13th in defensive efficiency. But they've got to make the game chaotic and speed it up and get some run-throughs, some pick sixes, and so far haven't done it. And one of the reasons, again, they have a pressure release, Gonzaga, just throw the thing inside.
The other thing they do, Huff will throw it up, and the whistle is on the floor, and they're going to take a look at it. Ike hit the ground just about the time Huff turned to shoot.
Yeah, so did the foul occur before the release of the basketball?
I think it did. An update from our producer, Scott Matthews, who alerts us that Matt Campbell, it's now official to Penn State. We just talked about that. He got the news from Pete Thamel, which makes a lot of sense. So Penn State has their head football coach. Then I was suggesting one of the things as we take a look at it, watch Ike in the middle when he goes down there long before Huff will let the shot go.
Yeah, it's the off-ball foul they're looking at. You probably were talking about it, Ravi, on Ortega.
Yeah.
What Pat Adams told us, did the foul occur prior to that shot release or after is what they're looking at.
And while you were talking to Pat Adams, the video indicated there's no question that the foul took place before the shot.
Okay. Hey, we have another
After
update
review,
as well.
The foul was before the shot, so 15 for Gonzaga will shoot a 1-on-1 free throw.
Yeah, it's really good communication from Pat Adams with Marquise Pettigrew and Courtney Green. But hey, we talked about Jaden Bailey, our buddy from today.
Yeah.
He's playing in a game tonight, Lebanon High School, the Blue Devils, by the way. He got to watch the first part of the game. He got to see himself in the coach's office before the game, huh? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Look, every minute that you get a chance to spend with him, it's special. This is a one-on-one right here for Ike. Here at Bridgestone Arena, courtside Jimmy Dykes, Carl Ravitch on the free throw line. Jaden Bailey, 16-year-old, about ready to celebrate his 17th birthday. Arm amputated back in August. He can win a state title by making a free throw.
Well, he can flat out shoot the basketball. He's a long kid, can block shots as well. But more importantly, I want a tough guy, Ravi, to close out a game from the free throw stripe. There's none tougher in all of basketball right now than Jaden Bailey.
All right, so Jaden gets the free throw, gets the ball with a chance to win a championship. Money. Well, meantime, the live action continues, and Kentucky's shooting struggles continue. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of Wildcat fans that were delighted to see Jaden Bailey's shot go through.
There's not a tougher guy playing basketball anywhere right now than our friend Jaden Bailey.
No,
you agree with that?
Of course I would agree with it.
Just the joy that he stepped in here with, man, and just the gratefulness. What did he say today? Today is the greatest day of my life. Spending time in here with the Kentucky Wildcats.
Well, hopefully it affords everybody that is watching this thing some context and some perspective, because that's the word that everybody was using in the arena earlier today. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Gonzaga 37-16 over Kentucky. And Huff, that's his home right there. I mean, that is his wheelhouse. And he easily laid up that quick shot.
Ravi, Ike and Huff, you can put them on either block and they can go either shoulder. I know they got beat by 40 by Michigan last week, which speaks to how good the Wolverines are. This Gonzaga team still, to me, is Final Four good.
So we began this telecast talking about how blue it was in here. That was the color, and now it's the mood. And it's nice to have a home court advantage until the scoreboard looks like that and your team's playing like that. It can go against you. We have definitely heard a whole bunch of booing tonight from Kentucky. Smith got it to go high over Moreno.
What can they not do on the offensive end?
Yelovich says, I'll try it again, and it's an air ball. And it's as ugly as it has been under Mark Pope.
It's the ugliest half I've seen under Mark Pope. I'm not sure there's one that's close.
The last time they were held under 20 points in a half, you have to go back to 2018. Finally a win, and it's Ortega. Smith is back, and Ortega lays it up and in. So Oweh gives him 2 to get him to 18, and Mark Few will try to.
Kentucky needs a whole lot more.
Oh boy.
Of that off of their defense. And man, it is a quandary right now in that Kentucky timeout. Just like I said earlier, way more questions than answers. And Mark Pope knows exactly what he signed up for as a Kentucky head coach. He's won a national championship. He knows that they're chasing title number 9. And things have not gone their way early in terms of injuries. But regardless of that, the three-point shooting is just not there so far on this roster. And the defensive toughness and will and strength nowhere to be found in this first half. A very disappointing response from Kentucky coming off a North Carolina loss. And the points in the paint are 20-4.
Yeah. Now Huff is basically out of the paint, but close enough that when he gets the ball down in that low block, it's an unblockable shot over his left shoulder.
Well, the Zags have a 2-point percentage of 60%. That's number 33 in the nation. That's how good they are getting that ball around the rim and finishing.
EK with 15 and Huff with 9.
I asked if Kentucky could get this thing closer to 10 by half.
20 would work. EK. Yes, it was. He went with the reverse.
Out of the timeout, Mark Hughes said, okay, Graham, I'm going to get you up top and get you the ball on the move. Man, what a weapon. How fast he is. Graham EK, 15 in blue, in and out of ball screens. Man.
17 in the first half for EK. Ten seconds in the half. Now 8. And that's going to be a push on the baseline from Venters.
I mean, there will be some boos, most likely, at halftime when this team leaves the floor. Just no identity at all right now for Kentucky. I know we're in December and it's a long season, but they're going to have to find something to hang their hat on right now with the difficulty of schedule and the SEC being what it is.
Quaintance offers size.
He does.
And Dioubate defense. None of them offer shooting.
No.
And after a 1 for 13 three-point outing in their last game, they're 3 for 20. It doesn't take a math major to figure out that's 4 for 33. They bring Yelovich in. You know, and the other 3 losses to those power schools, there was always one thing that stood out. Tonight, it feels like it's going to be that point in the paint number that you gave, which is now 22-4.
Well, Mark Few had 9 days to stew and be irritated and agitated over that 40-point beatdown. There's not a more competitive guy in college ball than Mark Few. And he's got great life balance. He enjoys fishing, time with his family, but they are serious about how they compete in that Gonzaga uniform, and it has shown up in this first half. Got pushed.
He collapsed. We'll let you listen to the crowd here before we send it back to the halftime crew. If they don't want to hang around for the second half, Nashville provides a lot of options.
Yep, that's the good news.
That's the good news.
There's more bad news.
EK's been a man amongst boys. 17 points on 6 of 10 shooting. It's Gonzaga 43 and Kentucky 20. Well, you got to go back quite some time. Music City Madness is driving Kentucky fans mad. We are in Nashville, Tennessee, and Gonzaga just put it on him in the first half to a tune in Music City that you're not used to seeing the Wildcats on a Friday night in the Bridgestone Arena that is full of blue. 43-20, outscored in the paint 22-4. Jimmy Dykes and Carl Ravitch, welcome back. It's certainly about Kentucky and their inability to put the ball in the basket. That's a top 5, top 10 team for sure with national championship aspirations.
Yeah, you're pointing at Gonzaga, man. How good are they and how good were they in the first 20 minutes? They set the rules early, which they always do. They own the two-point part of the floor. It starts with Graham Ike and Braden Huff, and man, how good these guys are, how good they have been. They just pound you inside, and it's just not just one of them, and it's both guys on both blocks, man. They're just a hard cover, but those two guys that combined for 26 points and 8 rebounds. The Zags are a truckload. And they have put it on Kentucky in this first half. They'll do it to a lot of teams. Now, Kentucky's got way more questions than answers right now. How will they respond? I was there last year when Kentucky was down, I believe, 18 at the half and came back and won. I don't see any sign of that happening in this game, but if it's going to happen, it's going to start these first 4 minutes.
Well, Oweh just got away with a push. He extended that left arm, and it worked because it opened up a 3 for him.
That's a good start. Kentucky's going to have to color outside the lines in this second half, play with a lot of freedom, and see what happens.
Garrison gets the assignment. They quickly double team Ike. He was looking to call a timeout, didn't get it. Ventures is wide open. Good shooter, had a good first half. Ike off his left shoulder, and boy, every inclination of a potential push by Kentucky, they have answers.
How about Ike to fight his way out of that double team and then sprint to the ball side of the floor? He is a pressure release.
Williams had to go in and out. 19 points in the game for Ike. He's having a monster game.
What, do you have 1 point?
Yeah.
Against Michigan?
Yep.
Last week?
Difficult entry pass. Huff, that's a basic layup for him there. That time he was contested, though.
Greg, I'll tell you about Michigan. They're the one team, maybe one of the few teams in the country that can cover Gonzaga inside one-on-one. If you can do that, you got a chance.
Garrison fighting for it. Keeps it alive. Kick 3 for Aberdeen. No. Hey, the Kentucky faithful all rose when Aberdeen got that ball, hoping to help it get through that net. It didn't. Ike too strong. Huff tipped it back. They don't have Quaintance, and when they do get it back, he is a load. And that would probably cause some problems for what Gonzaga's successfully done tonight, which is battle inside. Ike, an easy one again.
Yeah, well, Quaintance will help them defensively. He's not going to help Kentucky shooting the ball.
No. Chandler throws it up. He got fouled. Ike has matched his season high in points, 21.
Well, he is a grown man. He can play through contact. He's so good at shifting his shoulders, getting guys to bite on the high side and spinning off of it either way. I told you during warm-ups, about 45 minutes before the tip, he has arrived in Bridgestone in a bad mood, man. He wasn't talking to anybody. He had a look on his face like, I'm getting ready to go for 20 and 10, and he may surpass it.
Pregame, they were actually throwing a football around, and that's one of the ways they practice their defense. Yeah. And Ike went up and with one paw grabbed the football. Thankfully, he didn't spike it. He's 6'9", he's 255 pounds. Went to Wyoming, and he has erased the memory of the one-point effort against Michigan.
And Ravi, bigs, I put them in 3 categories. They play the game because they're big.
Yep.
They like the game, or they live the game. Yep. That kid lives the game. Basketball is the most important thing to this guy. He is a worker. I think he's going to find his way onto an NBA roster. I know he can't shoot threes, but a guy with that size and that foot speed, in and out of ball screens, I think he'll find a role with someone.
2,100 career points for Ike. And a victory tonight for Mark Few will be his 750th career win, a milestone victory number if Few and Gonzaga can hold on to it. They are all over, and now that ball is called a foul.
Well, Kentucky trying to turn up the fight level in this game, which the fans right now, I think, would just settle for that. Just fight hard, but getting called with a reach foul. Yeah, I think got hit. I think Garrison got him across the chin in the scramble for the loose ball.
St. Superi is just a freshman out of Spain. He's 17. Wow, a rare right-handed shot by Huff.
He is so good in that left slot, going downhill because he can spin off of it. finish through contact. He played point guard for his high school team.
No way, that's as strong as he's taken one tonight. And he was met by the mountain that is EK.
But Kentucky needs a whole lot more of that, Ravi. There was no hesitation. That was just a bull going towards the rim out of Oweh, the SEC preseason player of the year. You know he feels some frustration right now with how his year, Kentucky's year, is going. And Mark Pope is really good at getting Oweh attacking downhill off a lot of dribble handoff actions.
Oweh admitted himself about his play. He said, with me, it's just a matter of playing hard and effort 100% of the time. That's something I got to go out there and do. Men's Jimmy V Classic Tuesday night, Madison Square Garden, doubleheader. Clemson and BYU. That's at 6:30. They may have the player of the year in college basketball. And then it's Florida, also looking for a big win against UConn. And of course, Madison Square Garden is to Connecticut what Bridgestone Arena traditionally is to Kentucky. It feels like a home game for Connecticut. That's a big one. Florida and UConn. Clemson, BYU, the men's Jimmy V Classic Tuesday night from MSG.
If Boogie Flan plays for Florida like he did,
that's right,
dude, that could be a ball game. I think UConn, when they're healthy, is the most complete team we have in college basketball right now.
Again.
Michigan's right there. Purdue's right there with them. I think Arizona's going to be in that class as well.
EK, sure, they're all going in. Why not that?
It's EK over UK, and it has been from the opening tip.
24 points for EK. Just 2 fewer than Kentucky's got all night. .30 feet from the basket, 10 seconds. Yelovich way off to the right. And the frustration for Yelovich is at an apex, as it is for Mark Pope. They've doubled them up 52-26.
And if you're a Kentucky fan or Mark Pope, what you don't want to see is your Kentucky team breaking apart. They're going to have to stay connected until they can figure something out and hang their hat in a basketball game on Sunday.
Sasu Paris dribbled into traffic. Aberdeen now has it. Oweh's got Yelovich, who takes it himself, comes up short, tips it in. Couple of good hard drives by Otega Oweh here.
How good was he last year in the SEC tournament against Oklahoma? What, 4 seconds? Took it rim to rim and hit a crazy shot to advance Kentucky in that tournament.
Mark Pope was sharing that story with Jaden Bailey earlier today. The young man that we've highlighted, battling cancer. Battling his way into that post area for another 2.
It's just a man against a boy. Kentucky doesn't double, and like I said, there's only 2 or 3 teams in the country that can afford to do that against the Zags.
Chandler, and he will get fouled.
Yep.
Mark Pope looked at the Michigan game against Gonzaga, and he said, what were they, like the Celtics or the Lakers? Well, Graham Ike is playing like an NBA player in this game. 1 point against Michigan, and he is rolling with 24 tonight.
I bet Mark Few showed him that 1-point graphic for the last 9 days and said, answer, big fella, when I take you to Bridgestone.
Stew on that for a bit.
Little string music by EK in Music City. Group as well. Tennessee coming off of back-to-back losses, and it's a Tennessee team right now that just the inconsistencies of shooting and guarding. But Kylan Boswell for Illinois leads that program, and Jacoby Gillespie, one of the more productive transfers in college ball this year. How about that Illinois roster? They've got, I'll start here with Merkovich, Ivisic, Hummerkaus.
Two of them, by the way.
Ivisic, Stojakovic, Jakostas, and Petrovic.
Croatia, Puerto Rico, Montenegro, Serbia. And Ty Rogers from Saginaw, Michigan.
Brad Underwood's got a squad, though. I know they've lost a couple already, but they're only going to get better.
Well, a curious end to that Tennessee game the other night when they had a chance. Right? Ament had the ball at the rim with a desperation effort to get 2 points, and it came up short.
Yeah. You know who's playing well for Rick Barnes right now is Jalen Carey, the transfer from Vanderbilt, just down the road. Vanderbilt, I had them in Atlanta last week. They won it. They could finish in the top 3 or 4 in the SEC. I think they are that good.
I agree.
The best offensive teams in the country.
EK, all right, ball fake now, and the floater too strong. One tip, no good. Battles again.
Oh my gosh, right? Doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
Well, he's physically 3 inches taller than anyone else on the floor. Oweh couldn't get it. Loose ball goes to Gonzaga. Off on the bench for a few minutes, set to come back in. 3-ball, corner, money.
They are the real deal talking about the Zags. They go zoom action on one side, and then they get that ball reversed and find that deep corner.
That was Emmanuel Inochinte from the corner right in front of his own bench.
Interesting how good the Zags are on offense, Ravi, and they only make 7 threes a game. That's not where they butter their bread at all. Speaking of butter and bread, you know who's going to be with us tomorrow night?
I do, so I feel sort of silly answering the question like it's a mystery. So why don't you just let everyone know?
No, it's another reason to watch a great game tomorrow night.
Yes.
We're in Music City, country music capital of the world. One of the biggest stars in all of country music.
All right, so you went from bread and butter, now you're kind of teed it up that way. So are we in the
We're in the food category.
Food category.
Yeah, Jelly Roll.
Oh.
Is going to be sitting right here with you and I for 4 or 5 minutes calling the game. He's a big Tennessee Titans fan, volunteer fan. He loves the SEC football. Grew up in Nashville, so he'll give us a little flavor of himself tomorrow night.
He's got an amazing story, doesn't he?
He's amazing. He's an amazing guy. Yeah, I cannot wait to meet him and spend time with him. Very gracious of him to join us some tomorrow night. Just another reason to watch a great basketball game between Tennessee and Illinois.
Moreno, it's off his leg. Well, it's been a really tough night for Moreno, who is scoreless, 0 for 4. He has not, Jimmy, grabbed a rebound tonight. That's a hard thing for a big guy to do. No rebounds for Moreno.
Kentucky Mr. Basketball, but I mean, again, he's an 18-year-old freshman against 2 grown men out there. If you're Kentucky, Ravi, all you can talk about if you're Mark Pope right now is just play as hard as you can play. You've got a lot of things to fix. There's leaks everywhere, but we can control how hard we play right now. Forget about the score.
About the separation and the dribble drive by Saint-Supéry to dump that ball off in traffic. It was terrific. You know what's coming up? It is championship weekend on the college gridiron. The SEC championship, Georgia, Alabama. Marty and McGee, our buddy Marty Smith kicks things off early, and it runs all the way through the game and post-game on the SEC network.
Ravi, look at the depth of this Gonzaga squad. Look at this Worley kid right here from Florida State. He transferred to Virginia and then left Virginia when Tony Bennett stepped down and comes to Gonzaga. But he's just that positionless, ball-handling, 6'7" guy, driving game. Former 5-star guy out of high school.
Philadelphia tough.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, just a lot of talented depth and size on this year's Gonzaga team to deal with.
Certainly the question for Kentucky and Mark Pope is where are the signs that this is going to get any better? And I don't mean tonight. You know, last year they kind of shot themselves back into things and got to the Sweet 16. Is there enough offense? Are there enough shooters on this team? Because obviously the last 2 games when it comes to shots from three-point land, 1 for 13 tonight, 4 for 25. Can that improve dramatically?
I don't think it can improve dramatically, but it can improve. And here's what I'm going to say. Dioubate is a downhill driving force that can put fouls on the defense. Quaintance, obviously, he's going to be able to guy that can finish at the rim. So that alone should free up some more three-point looks. I just don't know if. I mean, this is a reported $22 million roster that Mark Pope has put together for this year. I don't know if they got enough shooting out the court, to answer your question, to dramatically turn this offense around. As a result, they're going to have to dog, scratch, and fight on the defensive end and just be one of those tight clubs, I think.
Johnson's going to think about it. Now he'll fire. That was contested, but he buried it.
He has a really good stroke. The numbers aren't great right now for him, 35%, but it looks good coming off of his wrist, right?
It does. The numbers aren't great for any of them.
No. other than Colin Chandler.
He's 1 for 5 tonight. There's that late double. And the pull-up no good. The crash from the outside, but Moreno grabs his first one.
And it all started, I know Jalen Lowe missed the layup, but it all started by making the defense respond to that basketball. All good things happen off offensive rebounds. I talked about it at Arkansas. The ball knows when it deserves to go in and not go in.
Good play by Chandler to come over. Another loose ball, though, goes to Gonzaga. Can't make that one, and there's a foul as it was ripped by Johnson.
You see the fans here are really responding to at least some effort plays by Kentucky.
Our score 61-36. Last 2 3-point attempts went down for the Cats. Gonzaga Bulldogs. He is on the verge of his 750th career win. And as he told us earlier today, he's doing it without one of his greatest supporters.
Yeah, he lost his mom about 3 weeks ago. Barb lived to be 92.
Yep.
Yeah, and he said she lived a life of serving. His dad, still alive, Norm, a pastor to church for 54 years, and just have poured himself into Mark. You know how proud they are of all the success he's had, the life balance that he has with his own family. And he certainly he started smiling when he started talking about his mom and how she got to watch him all throughout the years, and
still singing in the choir to the very end.
To the very end. How about that? Yeah, good for her, right?
Still living in the same town that he grew up in. He never moved away from the Pacific Northwest, and it wasn't for lack of opportunities. You know, that's for sure. But loyal to Gonzaga, who next year moves into what, the Pac-12, right? They move to a new conference next year.
Yeah, they do. So that WCC again this year, I think, will come down to Gonzaga and St. Mary's. I saw St. Mary's last week in Atlantis as well, and Vanderbilt handled them in the finals. But that St. Mary's team with Randy Bennett, similar to Gonzaga, big, physical, tough, make shots. 2 really good teams again out there on the West Coast.
One of the things that Mark discussed, we talked about, how does it feel to be a general manager of a sports team? I mean, that's what these coaches have become. And you know, you referred to the $22 million reported budget that Kentucky has as Gonzaga throws in another 3. It's Adam Miller, the lefty.
You know, Ravi, it's interesting because he made a great point. Outside of the season, the NIL money has just completely changed the offseason for coaches. Once the season begins, he said, it just feels like a normal year, like it's not even on our radar what we talk about. And boy, good teams hopefully have that about them. You don't want a locker room that's divided by, hey, you're making more than me and I'm better than you. And I don't sense that at all with either of these programs or really any coach that I've talked with.
Which is true within the coach and within that locker room. It's the other people. It's the fans.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who professionally will always look at an athlete and say, well, wait a minute, we're paying that guy what?
Or we're paying this team this much?
And they're doing this?
That is real pressure now in college basketball.
On these individual young men or kids, if you will.
Yeah, and the coach, it has to be.
Noah 2-on-1, Aberdeen speed. Good there.
Ravi, I think that has to be Kentucky's identity starting from the rest of this game and going forward. If they are who they are, they're going to have to be a disruptive, fast defensive team that scores off of this end of the floor.
Downhill is the word you hear a lot about their offense. They're going to have a lot of those fast break, drive to the basket points. And there's Garrison deflecting one away, and a 26-point lead for Gonzaga. 6 on the shot clock. With 1 on the shot clock. That's short. Here they go again. Noah spot up 3. Look good from the let go, but it's a rebound by Gonzaga. And they're going to get a foul as Worley ripped it away.
Those are the ones Kentucky's going to have to make at a high clip this year. Those transition threes. And they're going to bring this thing with some speed. And Denzel Aberdeen he's as good of an athlete at the guard spot that this league has. But if Kentucky's going to gain ground and gain some traction and become a factor in that SEC, it's running off their defense and making some transition threes. Do they have the firepower and the three-point shooters to do it? I don't know. I know this kid right here is shooting 45% coming into tonight. I trust it when he lets it fly. But Aberdeen's got to be better. Trent Noah's going to have to get some playing time. Because the injured guys, Ravi, they are not shooters. Jalen Lowe's a career below 30% from three. Right. Same way with Dioubate and Quaintance is a five-man.
And Oweh's points come when he drives.
No doubt.
Jasper Johnson talks a lot about his aspirations of being a one-and-done guy. Good help from Noah over there. Ball on the floor. There's Johnson down there to get it. And the arrow will favor Gonzaga.
Yeah, Mark Few not happy with the last probably 3 or 4 minutes of this game, getting a little sloppy with the ball.
So you mentioned Florida too, Jimmy. Of course, they lost those 3 great guards, Clayton Jr. They lost Elijah Martin, who was a heartbeat guy. They lost Will Richard. Here's Kentucky's upcoming schedule. And look, Indiana and St. John's are brutal. They have to go on the road January 3rd to kick off the SEC season.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, Indiana just had their first loss. St. John's with Rick Pitino. And Rick Pitino's team, surprisingly, just can't guard at all with the level that he's used to.
Well, the obvious part of what we're watching with Ike and Huff, there's nobody as tall as they are. Generally, they have one guy on the floor currently that's Moreno. Somebody has somebody that's 3 or 4 inches shorter guarding. Thus, all the points for both those guys. Bad pass by Noah, and it's deflected off the hands of Saint-Supéry. Oweh was out for a minute. He's back in the game. Noah's going to be taken out of the game. Really interesting spot to be a fly on the wall, to hear how Mark Pope and his staff are talking about their team and how they're trying to figure it out.
Well, Ravi, the plan in the summer with Kentucky was to play 10 or 11 guys and come at you with waves. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do that this year. They haven't, obviously, so far because of the injuries, but it's hard to play 10 or 11 guys. Mark Few talked with us about that today. As finally Moreno is a factor on the inside. His first 2.
Started by a Johnson drive.
Well, Johnson is not I don't think he's a natural point guard. He can get downhill, but I mean, Mark Pope right now, he's just trying to figure out within the game, what can we build on in this thing? Can I get some guys going downhill besides Oweh, and Jalen Lowe is going to give that as well. And then defensively, who are my dogs that I can trust? I mean, they went, what, 10 minutes and 25 seconds Kentucky did against North Carolina without a basket. They can have some more of those drops going forward, and they can't let their offense affect their defense. Kentucky cannot be an offensive sensitive team this year.
Garrison and Chandler have Miller, and now it's Huff and Ike down there in the paint. And Huff may have got away with a walk, but they're going to get the foul call before the steps.
Yeah, he did travel. Pat Adams said he got fouled first.
Fouls on Garrison. We'll take a timeout here. We are in Nashville, Tennessee. And the music is not playing right now for Kentucky. And 2, ESPN, the app. You'll get Missouri and Kansas. Missouri won their first 8 games. Mark Mitchell has arrived. He really looks good. Jacob Cruz, Javon Porter. Kansas is going to be with their full complement of players. And then Georgetown, North Carolina at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
I think North Carolina is going to be right there in the thick of things in that ACC with Duke and Louisville. You and I saw Louisville and Bud Walton Wednesday night. And Arkansas handled that game. But, man, there's a lot of potential for that Louisville team. North Carolina, the Dixon kid that finished off that game early this week is a real boost for that North Carolina team until September gets back.
Just one of the many amazing freshmen that have spread themselves around the country in different programs, and they've been the big story early in this college basketball season, the play of the freshmen. Oweh chased, that comes up short, and we get a whistle, which is why it came up short.
And Ravi, the shooting numbers for Kentucky the last 2 games are alarming. Alarming. Look what they did against North Carolina. 1 out of 13, and tonight 6 out of 31. That is some bad math. 7 out of your last 44. Shooting 19% tonight. And they have had some good looks. It's not like Gonzaga has been there and chased them off the 3-point line and taken a lot of tough looks. They've had some wide open ones. And like we said earlier, there's more leaks right now than they have fingers to plug the holes.
Yeah, 35 for the last 102 in the last 2 games. And it's not for lack of shooting. They launch shots during their shoot-arounds, during their practices. Crisis of confidence is certainly a problem for them right now. Yeah, the SEC regular season is right around the corner. Chandler's on the ground, and a wide open 3, and that one finds the bottom. He's going to be a very good player.
Well, he's a fighter, talking about St. Cyprien, and he did not arrive at Gonzaga, Ravi, until September after competing with the Spanish national team, talking about 17 in blue. But he's that next Zag point guard that we all know by name.
Ike's got 24. It feels like he last scored a half hour ago, so he'll go to the paint and put 2 more.
What's he got tonight?
26.
26 and 10.
10 of 17 shooting, 10 rebounds.
That's the look he had in his eye an hour before the game. I told you, he's in a bad mood. That 1 point against Michigan did not set well with him.
With a reminder, I'm sure, like you said, from the coach. How many did you get against them? 1? Chandler, man, the higher he shoots it, the better it looks.
Like a wedge from 100 yards out, right?
Hang time on that. Chandler had a hand up. It didn't matter. They continue to knock down threes. Adam Miller's quietly had a very good night. 8 points and active everywhere. Johnson reverse, didn't get it to go.
Graham Ike is everything at 6'9" and 255. I talked about how he lives the game. Doesn't love it, he lives it. But he is an absolute handful, man. He's always putting contact on you. He can step out just enough that you have to come out and honest guarding. But man, does this dude play hard on both ends of the floor. And he can cover ball screens. He can hard hedge. He can knock you out to the timeline. He can do drop coverage. I just think he's one of the better big guys in all of college ball. Yeah, he didn't get it done against Michigan, which also tells us how good that Michigan front line is. Yeah. But boy, did this dude answer the call tonight from Mark Few.
Well, Few acknowledged, the kryptonite is having guys that can match up one-on-one with Huff and Ike. Now, if Quayton is here and playing, there's just more of a matchup issue.
Yeah.
They didn't present that tonight against Gonzaga, and Gonzaga took advantage of it, like a well-coached team would do.
I use the term warrior a lot. Graham Ike is a warrior.
(79-49). Oweh will go to the free throw line and shoot a couple more. Rick Barnes, Tennessee Volunteers, they had some health issues the other night. They didn't have Phillips play very many minutes. They didn't have Estrella, big guy for them.
Yeah, they're banged up a little bit, but that's not an excuse at all for Rick Barnes. Talking to him last night in preparation for this game. They couldn't close out Kansas. They were up 12 in the second half out in Vegas. And he told his team, last year's team would have closed this game out.
Yeah.
And until you figure out how last year's team played defensively and with an edge and a toughness, we're going to continue to probably get punched a little bit. And then they go to Syracuse and lose as well. So just like Graham Ike arrived in this building in a bad mood, I expect the Tennessee Volunteers to arrive tomorrow in a bad mood, as well as Illinois coming in off of a loss. Those are two teams ranked inside the top 15. A very meaningful game in March for whoever wins that one tomorrow.
I would imagine Nate Ament is running a little toasty right now.
Yeah, I can tell you Rick Barnes is running a little toasty after Nate Ament.
Yeah,
I can confirm that.
You hope that one transfers to the other. Really sweet left-handed stroke, isn't it, from Miller?
They absolutely have it all.
Shot 42%, almost 43% last year from three-point land. The Zags were the worst three-point shooting team in Mark Few's tenure last year, so they addressed it in the portal, and it's showing tonight. They've been very, very effective. Shooting 50% from three, 9 of 18, Gonzaga. That's a good number.
Well, Mark Few, we know he's not afraid to play anybody anywhere, and he had a. The Zags had a great November. They just had one beat down by Michigan, which we think is an outlier. But you look at the Zags every year. They played Oklahoma, Creighton, they're at Arizona State, Alabama, Maryland, Michigan, Kentucky.
Really good look, and EK and Huff got a little 1-2 tandem going tonight. I mean, literally, it looks a little bit of a playground performance when you bring these two stars in. And they're playing against competition that's just below them right now.
It's an amazing story, though, what Gonzaga has done in college basketball under Mark Few. You just look at the NBA Finals last year when Chet Holmgren for OKC and Andrew Nembhard for the Indiana Pacers both starting in the NBA Finals. They produced not draft picks, but lottery picks. And it's a big reason why he continues to just knock it out of the park in the portal and recruiting. They know exactly the type of guy that fits the Zag mode.
Huff now's got 20. And the points in the paint is the one you circled tonight. It was apparent coming in that Huff and Ike were going to dominate. It's 40-14 in the paint that Gonzaga has outscored Kentucky. He can do that with the best of them.
Right now, he's Kentucky's best player. I didn't think I would say that back in the summer, but Colin Chandler is shooting 45% from three. He's their most disruptive defender. He can punch it at the rim, and he plays really hard. He's a good athlete. And I'm not sure Kentucky has a leader right now. It might be him going forward. And he plays with no fear. He's an older guy, been on a Mormon mission. But Kentucky's got to find some kind of identity and some kind of voice with the SEC around the corner.
Changing landscape of college basketball.
My guys and how they are dealing with the pressures and stresses.
Our players and making sure that they're making good decisions.
You just don't want the phone to ring late because it's never good.
You're constantly thinking how your guys are doing.
I don't want to stay up at nights worrying about one kid. That's why we've always recruited good players.
It sounds exactly like what a parent would say. You don't ever want that phone to ring late at night, and that's one of the things that keep coaches up at night. And certainly Mark Pope, you'd figure, would be having a hard time sleeping tonight after what they just saw. It's like an illegal screen set here. Look, with 3 minutes to go, Jimmy, and the score as lopsided as it is, you came into this game knowing this was going to be a challenge, given the inside presence of both Huff and, of course, Ike. But a challenge and an 86-55 game are two different things.
Mark Pope's got a lot of things that's going to keep him up for several nights, Ravi. He knows exactly what it means to be the head coach of Kentucky and the expectations. Number one on the list will be to keep his guys together. You cannot break apart right now if you're a Kentucky Wildcat in that jersey. And that's going to be, I think, one of the messages that he'll get to his team is we can't break apart. We are obviously in a rough skid right now, but it's only December. And you've got some help coming, but the most important thing is, can I keep my guys playing hard? Can I keep them connected? Are we not? Oh! Just that sums up Gonzaga's game. But we talked about it earlier. The pressure is real as the head coach of Kentucky. And here he is sitting at now about to be 5-4. All their wins are against quad 4 teams. As of tonight, they're not an NCAA tournament team. There's a lot of opportunities left right now, but this is a team that came in with a lot of expectations. They beat Purdue in an exhibition game that Purdue didn't even prepare for, and the expectations just went off the charts, off the rails for Kentucky and Big Blue Nation. So,
well, you understand why the expectations went off the charts, not only because of that. You have Kentucky, the brand, you have, as we've discussed, the payroll, which allegedly is near $22 million. That generally buys success, but look around professional sports, it hardly guarantees it. That's for sure.
Yeah. What'd you tell me? The Mets today had the second highest payroll and didn't even make the playoffs?
Top three playoff, top three payroll, nothing to show for it.
Well, now Kentucky has their deficiencies, but I'm telling you, they got knocked in the nose by a team that I think is still potentially a Final Four team. I believed 100% until they got knocked in the nose by Michigan, but watching them again in person tonight, they can do it all. And they have scheduled tough. The Gonzaga Ravi is favored in every single game left on their schedule. So they're going to be sitting there with 32, 33 wins and a very high seed, I think, come March.
Well, the changing landscape of college basketball, Jimmy, obviously teams shoot way more three-pointers than they ever have. They score more points than they ever have. They also schedule differently than they ever have. The idea of cupcakes, gone. You look at these power schools and their schedules, you have a real chance to get exposed if you're not ready. And certainly Kentucky in their 4 games against these power schools, they've been exposed. I mean, that's no other way to look at it. And yet, like you said, Gonzaga, it has worked in their favor.
They're the real deal. You know who else is the real deal?
Oh, yeah.
That young man right there. I mean, he put life in perspective for all of us today. Has been diagnosed with terminal cancer. He's playing a basketball game right now. And the coach told us, I don't play him just because. I play him because he can help. And
look at this shot. Yeah, look at what he's doing.
He's
in front of the entire Kentucky team. Mark Pope sitting there, left arm amputated in the summer. Cancer spreads to his stomach, and his attitude is everything. And if you look at this score and you're sitting there all angry and upset about it, please just take a second to think about what he and his family are going through. Which brings us to V Week, of course, at ESPN, v.org/donate. We get along with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. The number of cancer cases that are now turning positive at the end because of the research and because of the dollars are so critical. It's working. And in the case of Jaden Bailey, he's been given weeks to live, and his coach will tell you, and Jaden will tell you, he actually feels better than he's felt in a while. And today, as he texted Jimmy, it was the greatest day of his life hanging around with the Wildcats.
The greatest day of his life. Graham Ike is the player of the game. Jaden Bailey is the guy of the day.
Yeah, no doubt. Dude of the day.
Yeah, dude of the day. Hey, his Instagram, by the way, is, what was it again? You got to get this thing. I told him I was going to get him some followers.
Look, he takes his situation and puts it in perspective. He's made light of his situation. He talks about team defenses sort of focusing on his right hand.
On Instagram, we need to blow up his following. He's the one-arm bandit. One-arm bandit, Jaden Bailey.
One-arm bandit.
Yeah, encourage that young man. Pray for him. And if you spent the time around him like we did, the joy that he has, the life that he has, the happiness that he has with the news that he's facing when he wakes up every day.
Like, there were tears in coach's eyes
there were
today.
tears in mine. Like, I'm thankful that I got to meet him.
Oh, yeah.
The best way to say it.
Yeah. Met his grandfather, who was here today as well. Just a support system that is second to none. And he lifts them, which is a remarkable thing to say about a kid that's dealing with what he's dealing with.
Well, I said it in the open. I'll say it again. Gonzaga is a truck. And they just trucked Kentucky. And they're going to do it to a lot of folks this year. You hear the boos.
Yeah, there is a small smattering of Gonzaga fans that are cheering. That's who you hear standing up. 94-59. Most lopsided game in Mark Pope's career, certainly at Kentucky. And Gonzaga, the first team in the AP poll history with a 30-point loss. They lost by 40, and a 30-point win in back-to-back AP ranked matchups. I'm not sure if it's evidence that it was a one-off, but boy, it's compelling.
The highs and lows of Mark Few.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully we'll see a more competitive game tomorrow night with Illinois and Tennessee, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Our final score, 94-59. For Jimmy Dykes, Scott Matthews, our producer, and our entire crew, I'm Carl Ravage saying so long, and a shout out to Jaden Bailey. We'll send you to the 5th set after this break for the whip around of the volleyball coverage.